What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 46 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz campaign. So as we saw last time, Gavin Pfeiffer landed on the Isle of Wights and was immediately attacked by the Van Heimlings, unexpectedly so. He did manage to pull off a win and survive, and will hopefully, together with Kurt Haldenstrat, now be able to take the Isle for themselves. Granted, we're going to probably have a big problem healing in this area because it is a red territory, uninhabitable climate frozen, but I'm hoping that we can counteract it at least a little bit with the new acquisition of utilized wizard apprentices. Whether that is actually the case and whether we can regenerate here at all remains to be seen. If we can't, all we'll be able to do is probably destroy the Isle of Wights or take it and abandon it, rather than attacking Conquata, which is originally why we were here. We could still try to siege it, but if Gulator has a few more turns to generate troops, we may not be viable. There's also a Wolfric hanging around, so these guys are certainly in a dangerous situation. And we'll see if we can have them survive or not. Anyway, in addition to that, we had Volkmar the Grim attack the Eye of the Panther and destroy the forces of the Greybeards, disgusting pectors there. And we will be that one didn't really work. And we will be taking out Vulture Mountain and Martek as soon as we can. Now, there are a few battles that we still have about to happen. Sartosa here, we have Skavenblight, and as we just saw, the Isle of Wights, plus Uzkalak up north with Karl, so now let's get to it. First things first, though, I was taking a look at the hero spawns, and look what we have here. Alexis Rodziner, Imperial Calibration on a Warrior Priest. Now we know for sure that warrior priests can have Imperial Calibration, and more importantly, this is exactly what I wanted to get for Balthazar Gelt. Yeah, he has a nice tough warrior priest, but the calibration one, together with the calibration on the Empire Captain, is quite a bit better. And I'm very happy about it. Now I have to wonder if you can get Imperial Calibration on Wizards. I don't know, though I guess we don't technically need one in Gelt's army, since he is a wizard, though there is another thought. The fact is, Gelt is probably going to have steam tanks, probably more steam tanks than anybody else, because he's the only one that buffs them, and so significantly, I might add. So the best wizard for steam tanks is not, in fact, a metal wizard, but a life wizard, because you can heal units, as there is no mechanical distinction for units, and the Lore of Life does work on them. So we might actually add a life wizard to Gelt's army as well, if possible, later on. In fact, I have been thinking about maybe, you know, in like 20 turns, switching Gelt's army around to be all machinery and handgunners, and then taking the Eldred's Guard out, and then possibly having the Electric Count of Solon be somebody else, and just giving them an army made up of crossbows and spearmen, specifically Eldred's Guard, combined with the Stirland River Patrol, or the Stir River Patrol, whatever they're called. Yeah, Stir River Patrol. Though, of course, the Stir River Patrol are also fire-damaging units, so we could put them in a fire army, so I'm not entirely 100% sure on that yet, depending on how much room we have for them in the Knights of the Blazing Sun army. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. We did the hero summoning. Let's now take a look at diplomacy, which we didn't do. So, yes, we have trade. Beautiful. We don't care about this stuff right now. We very much care about trade with Avalorn, however. And slightly with everybody else, but Avalorn is obviously the most important one. It says 564, but if Eataine is anything to judge, it's actually a lot more. Where's Eataine? Yeah, so we're getting nearly 2k from Eataine, so Avalorn, I'm willing to bet, is going to be something along those lines. So let's do that. And they'll give us some money on top of it. We need to have them declare war on anybody. Are they fighting with the Cult of Pleasure? Yeah, they are. And they're fighting with Nakara. Yeah, I think they're busy enough. Alrighty. I do wish that there was a way to tell your allies to actually peace out with factions, but oh well. So now Avalorn is giving us 1,500 money, and that will increase over time as well. We still have other trade agreements available. Eastern River Lords... Ropsman Clan and Ursun Revivalists. All of these are relatively small factions, probably wouldn't give us too much value. I do wonder if these guys will survive or not. You know what, I think we're going to hold off on trading with anybody else right now. I'm a little bit tempted by the Eastern River Lords, but let's see. Can they survive here? Well, this place actually does look reasonably well defended, especially if we give them an outpost here, and the only reason that I'm thinking about doing this one is because they are liked by the other Cathians, and we do want a military alliance with all of the Cathian factions. There's also a decent chance that these guys get confederated, but yeah. You know what, let's do this. Let's go this, non-aggression pact, and military access for now, and ask for 2k, very nice. Ooh. Although, well, that'll pay for an outpost in their settlement. Although it's probably already outposted up by the Jiangxi rebels. Yeah, but nonetheless. Alright, and this will at least make these guys like us a little bit more. And we can just do a defensive alliance. I mean, I doubt they're going to be fighting the lizard. Ooh, although, they don't like each other that much. You know what, maybe we'll hold off on that then. At least on the defensive alliance. They don't. No, they actually approve treaties with the Eastern River Lords, but yeah, let's hold off on the main actual treaty. Otherwise, I believe the rest of that is good. The diplomacy, I mean. Mazdamundi still wants to peace out, but I'm still very unsure as to whether we do so. Kurun still wants that military alliance, which we will eventually do someday. I just want Grungzent. But oh well. Okie dokie, well, now it's time to fight, and I did have another thought that we maybe could do. Now, we could attack Skavenblight and siege it, or we could do something that we've already succeeded at once, which is have Peter go in and force them into a field battle. Not in trenches stance, unfortunately, in regular stance only.
We will.
Unless, wait. Sometimes this trick works. Move out of your settlement. Sometimes this counts as extra movement, and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, didn't work. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, so basically, have Peter go in and do the battle against the forces of Skavenblight in a field battle, rather than a siege. Yes, this is disadvantaging us, but there's a number of reasons I think this is a good idea. A, I feel like field battles are much more interesting, especially when we'd probably just bombard most of Skavenblight to death, let's face it. And on top of that, as somebody pointed out in the comments a couple of episodes ago, we now have finally counted down the time it took to build the outposts in our friends the Wood Elves territories, which means we now have access to Way Watchers, which are going to go into Peter's army. And I did want to get these regiments of renown out of his because, well, he doesn't buff them nearly as much as the legendary lords who are specifically geared towards buffing them do. And we got... wait, we can build... Wait, 1 second.
Huntsman General.
And camps out for the love of KU. Arguelon and Talzin both? Yes, okay, so we have Way Watchers from both of them, so we can get 4 Way Watchers in one go. Right? Right? Wait. Actually, no, we can't. I don't see Way Watchers here. Are you not able to build them? I thought I thought you had the, I thought you had that building. But apparently he does not. Alright, we'll have to rely on Talzin for that. We really should try to get alliances with these guys going then. Yeah, it would be access to more Wood Elf units. I wonder how much money they would want for this. Too much. Gotta be a way to get that going somehow. Oh well, we'll try to do that at some point. You'd think that they would love us for being militarily aligned with both Durthu and with Orion, but apparently not enough. 125 and 127, I think they're just not in enough wars for them to want the military alliances, since they're not willing to do it for 30k, but anyway, I digress. Let's jump into a battle. Peter, you're gonna go for a Remamute, and you're gonna try to draw him into a field battle. Let's see if this works. Of course, if he tries to run away, we're just gonna siege Skavenblight. Nope, he will indeed fight. Now, we've faced off against this army before, so I'm not... Well, I wouldn't say not concerned at all, because the last time we fought this, it was extremely tough. But I do imagine that we can pull it off if we're careful, so here we go again. Alrighty, here we go. Rematch, Peter, and this time it is for all the cards. It is for Skavenblight itself. Last time we were just so close to being able to take it after defeating this garrison army, but disappointingly we had taken so much damage from fighting both the super elite garrison that Skavenblight has. I mean, look at this. That army would cost like 8,000 gold per turn or something probably to field on the field, because this even storm vermin are super expensive. Really, everything there is super expensive. But anyway, last time, unlike this time, this was not the only enemy army. They had a pretty big stack as well in order to attack us before the reinforcements got there. So we've got a lot more advantages than we had previously. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off by focusing down this doom wheel as best we can. It is frostbitten, so it is slowed down considerably, and due to the effect of the white wolves, I want to say. Yes, White Wolves Hunters, and the accusation effect on the Doom Wheel. Just want to kill it before it reaches anything. The enemy also opened up its own battle by casting Pestilent Breath right on our 3 summons of units from our patrol captain ancillaries or adjutants, and it was quite annoying. Just get those guys on the field immediately. They all spawn in one location, and the enemy starts casting. Yeah, gotta be careful about that in the future. If that was a more devastating spell, we could have lost all 3 units to a single cast, though fortunately they didn't take all that much damage in this particular situation. Anyway, let's speed it back up to normal now. The enemy has lost its Doom Wheel, and now we are going to switch targets to the Storm Vermin primarily, and a little bit towards the Clan Rats out here as well. Obviously, we don't want the Storm Vermin to close the distance, and we gotta do as much damage as we can here before the enemy reinforcements arrive. There's another Pestilent Breath coming in. No, actually the enemy cancelled it because the enemy Lord got ripped apart by focus fire from some of our units out here, as well as the 2 units of sniping war wagons. Look at all those arrows and bullets. Isn't it glorious? And I also want to point out that at the current time, we don't have our free companies here. Our free companies have all been deployed down here between these trees, where they will be holding off the enemy reinforcements. We're going to move the rest of our army to help out here, and then we're going to use this terrain. This is also the same map that we fought, but we did fight outside of Skavenblight last time, so it makes sense. We're going to use this terrain to go up this hill, and then fire from down there, and then back down here as well, and see how much of the enemy army splits up here versus up here. Could be very advantageous, as the enemy generally does a poor job at going around impassable terrain objects like this. I do think that we do have a bigger advantage here than we did last time we fought, as last time the enemy reinforcements came from this portion of the map and thus moved downhill against us rather than uphill in this particular situation. Alrighty, well, let's just speed it up until the reinforcements are on the field, and there we go, they've arrived, but we are still moving in. We did just take a few extra seconds to pop that ammunition recovery on our huntsmen, so that they are nearly topped up, as I'm sure they'll need all the ammunition they can get for this army. Our pistoliers are in the background chasing off the remnants of that first little army, and are going to loop around and annoy the enemy as best they can here. As usual, we're going to send in our clowns, send in our war wagons to annoy the enemy and then back off. They're the first of the run and gun units and have a long enough range that they're not concerned about getting hit by anything short of the enemy artillery. And to point out, the enemy does have a warp lightning cannon, though I do imagine it is moving into position now. Alrighty, some nice shots both from our snipey war wagons and from the Black Lions war wagons. And now we're just gonna back off a little bit here. And the enemy is certainly on the field with a nice stack. And there we go, the Warp Lightning is firing as well, and it looks like it's going directly for our war wagon, so we will need to be careful. Once again, the Doom Wheel will be the target of choice first, because we don't want it charging directly at our front lines. I do like the view from the Skaven lines as well, just to see what the enemy sees as it rushes forward. Ooh, nice shot from the Black Lines as well. Though once again, I do feel like the Black Lines don't actually belong in this particular army. Yeah, they fire at units as the enemy does approach, but they can't really get as much value as they might normally get in an army that allows them to position to fire parallel to the entire enemy force. Anyway, let's see how we're doing here. The enemy army is actually looking pretty bad already. We've been telling our huntsmen to target the Poison Wind Globadiers and the Death Globes because they're by far the biggest threats on the field. We've also managed to peel away 2 units of Death Runners with our Pistoliers and are backing off, as well as a unit of Storm Vermin here, and we will be annoying them for the rest of the battle with our Pistoliers, while the 4th unit of Pistoliers charges the Warp Lightning Cannons in the hope of silencing them before they destroy our poor War Wagons. Otherwise, the enemy Lord's is at half HP and looking pretty bad as well, and hopefully we'll be able to bring him down together with all of these enemy Death Globes and Poison Winds. Alright, the Doom Wheel has dropped, the enemy Lord has dropped as well, and looks like the Poison Winds and stuff are done for, which means we've covered our main targets and we can back off a little bit. The reason we're backing off is, well, A, we can, and are planning to continue the run and gun strategy, and 2, we have our summoned Greatswords and our summoned Halberdiers, our patrol captain units, which we're going to send in to guard against the enemy advance while we retake better positions both up here and down here. We also have a unit of handgunners, the other summoned, the 3rd summoned unit here, which can just sit up here and fire down onto whatever it pleases, and whatever it pleases will soon be that Hell Pit Abomination that's slowly advancing towards us as soon as it's in range. Alright, plus I like the idea of these guys covering the retreat. Well, it's not really a retreat, but you know, of the rest of the units. Man, imagine if Huntsmen could fire in all directions rather than only being able to fire forward. Anyway, here comes the Hell Pit Abomination. It is going to charge our Free Company Militia. Oh, I love this unit. I know I need to stop praising the rats, but damn do I love this unit. There we go. Oh, and it's regeneration activated, which means a couple more volleys will see the Hell Pit fall and probably crush a few of our units, and then spawn those Skaven slaves as well. Otherwise, the bounce power is looking like it's about 65, maybe 70% in our favor. The enemy is tied up fighting our summoned units, both of which have about half HP remaining, but by the looks of it, plenty enough to continue holding the line. Oh, look at all those Free Company firing into the Storm Vermin as the ladder advances as well. And we've got support from the other Free Companies and the War Wagons firing into them. This is going pretty well so far. We actually haven't taken really a lot of damage, and look at that, our Witch Hunter fighting some Plague Monks in melee. Good job, buddy. I absolutely intend to later on build an army with like 4 to 6 Witch Hunters, just because we can. I think it'll be a fun army. I just need to figure out what else we need to put into it that would make sense with them. Obviously not this one, though. Alrighty, and it looks like our great swords are nearly ready. They're wavering and will soon be out, but the Death Runners and the Storm Vermin that have been annoying them are in very, very bad shape. In fact, the entire enemy army is in bad shape. 80% favor. And I feel like a few more units forced to rout will force the entire enemy army to rout. And we've also managed to chase off those, or at least one of the units of Death Runners. The other one came back, rather than bothering to waste their time with Pistoliers. And this Clan Rat and Storm Vermin unit are also just wasting their time. Now we're just going to concentrate fire on this unit of Death Runners here, who is at about 75% HP, though probably not for much longer, especially since they've begun to waver. Alrighty, and it does look like the swordsman, or the great swords rather, did stand just barely, so close to breaking, but at the end, it's the rats that did shatter. Now we have to give chase, do our best that we can to knock out every single rat that we can, because if sufficient damage has been done, we should be able to take Skavenblight with an auto-resolve. Obviously, because we've killed all the enemies out here. I do think that this plan worked out fairly decently. Peter did really well here, taking very few losses for this garrison. And we won't have to assault the walls. if we had tried this with 2 armies rather than just Peter's, the enemy would have just run away and not fought outside the walls, in which case we would have had to hit a much harder target. Anyway, that's that. We're just going to speed it up as we chase down the remnants of the enemy host. But I'm very happy with the performance of the army. I mean, look at that, look at that. Most of our units have full HP, and those units that are damaged, like this Pistolier unit that's at half HP, is in fact at 48 out of 60 units, so about here in reality, or at least it will be once we heal up. Same thing for the Free Company, nearly 100 units still. The War Wagons are fine. Took a little bit of damage, but all 4 models are alive, so it matters not. Our Witch Hunter is also healed up via his healing potion, so he's at full HP, and Peter hasn't really been hurt either. Very nice. Alright, and it looks like a few more units are going to get destroyed as well. Oh, I love the chasing capability of this army. It's so good. I mean, at least against slow armies, or standard infantry speed armies. Even slightly fast armies, just not ogres is what I'm getting at. Anyway, a heroic victory for Peter yet again. He's had so many, and I'm willing to bet he'll have at least a few more before the campaign ends. Yeah, we got a Talisman of Endurance out of that. Very, very nice. And a very nice amount of money and prestige for our efforts as well. And well done, Peter, obviously at it again. And I feel like it's only right for him to be the one to finish off Skavenblight, considering all the work he's done to destroy them already, and the fact that he's defeated this garrison before, though this time with under 10% losses. A few units remain, but probably not enough for us to be concerned with, so we should be able to auto-resolve the remnants of that. Kidnapper. Shouldn't it be Ratnapper? And I guess he can keep the Talisman of Endurance, and hey, got us a student and a scribe. 7 more research out of that. Lovely. If we can put it on somebody. You don't have a student? Well, then you may as well have... Ooh, wait, actually. Just in case, we'll not give you the student right now, because who knows, maybe he'll level up. The only question is... Oh, we don't suffer attrition here? Oh, I thought we did when traveling through the marshes, but apparently not. So, here's the thing. There is still an Ikit Claw out there, and we want to kill him. But we probably don't want Peter to do it, because he already has the Ikit Claw defeat trait. You, my Wolfram friend, do not. And Owen doesn't either. I don't know who would go faster, but here's what we'll do. We'll put you... right to the edge of this territory like so. Hopefully he'll be in range. Guided by Sigmar. Like that. Then, Peter, you're going to now auto-resolve Skavenblight with the remnants of this force. Low casualties. I'm willing to bet we'll take more damage than we did in that battle, but there's really no point in fighting this, let's face it. Auto-resolve. And yeah, 378 lost, 4 times as many losses with 2 armies against the paltry remnants of the stack. Oh, auto-resolve. And yeah, I know it's a settlement, but we had a bunch of artillery pieces that would not have, well, that would have made it not matter. Anyway, you're gonna occupy the place, got yourself a pit fighter and a hunter as well, but no extra student, which is fine. Wolfram, you're gonna stay here. I don't think Ikit can reach you in non-march stance, so you're fine. And then what we're going to do is we're gonna send Owen Dittazan out via the sea to Tobaro. Now, if Ikit is now... he has no territory, which means he'll be programmed to attack Magritta. Now, he cannot take Magritta. Just in case, though, what we're going to do is we're going to summon a Templord here. A Templord that we can then use the Ikit Claw defeat trait on, just in case the one of these armies fails to get to him. And the question, I suppose, then, is which defeat trait? The Imperial Calibration one isn't so bad on Helmet here. Kind of tempting. Especially as he is a lord that we should probably be using. Oh, we have another noble. I wonder, at 150 cost, is noble worth it? Income from buildings plus 10%. I'm not 100% sure exactly how supply lines work in SFO. In fact, just out of curiosity, 31762 down to...
The Empire. Yes, my lord.
So, by the looks of it, I'm not gonna do the exact math, but by the looks of it, it's roughly the exact number that his own upkeep cost. So it didn't increase the upkeep of other units, by the looks of it, which means most likely another noble in... where were you? This guy. Another noble in Reikland would just straight up increase the territory's upkeep, or upkeep the income without costing us more than it would cost. So maybe we'll get that up and running as well. Yeah, so Helmut, you stay here. You are a pseudo-legendary lord, I guess, by virtue of being an elector count. Like an actual loreful elector count, not one of our elector counts right now, but, you know. And you have honest... everybody... Okay, the AI just gives everybody honesty. It doesn't even care. Every single... Why? It should be giving Emperor's Finest to everybody, not Honest Steel. Honest Steel is much less likely to be used. Very odd. But whatever. Imperial Calibration, Grievous, and hopefully we can combine this with the Ikit Claw Defeat trait, which will give us another 10% research. Speaking of research... and we want more students added to those heroes that do not currently have them, like you, for example, but also those that are not currently... like so. That are not currently in an army and thus likely to level up. Also, Peter, you have done your job, my friend, so what we're going to do now is take out you. Or wait, let me just think about this. Yeah, let's do 3 for now. We can only build 2 Way Watchers. So we'll build these 2. One will be a space for a wizard, and then the other 2 will be a space for the 2 new Way Watchers. Yeah, unfortunate to lose Regiments of Renown, but, well, this one doesn't... The black lines don't actually fit in this army, really. They're much better in an army that they can sort of use an anvil and shoot into enemies that are stuck. Whereas this army doesn't really have that. These guys aren't really meant for run and gun, they're meant for reposition. I mean, it's sort of still run and gun, but they can't fire while moving is what I'm getting at. And these guys go to their respective legendary lords. So you're out.
Sir,
and Peter,
proceed.
You are going to recruit from Talzin 2 Way Watchers. 2 Way Watchers. If I can find the second one here somewhere. Yes. Just out of curiosity, does Arguelon have Swift Shiver Shards? No. I would have given temporary Swift Shiver Shards at least. We could do Sisters of the Thorn, but do we really need another... do we need another Cab unit? So these guys apply Toxic Venom. Which would, to be fair, combine together with the Way Watcher's regular poison. And if we could get some form of lethal poison as well. I do notice that Arguelon does have Hawk Riders, which are quite strong in SFO as well. Now, obviously, they're not going to get nearly as buffed here. We could put temporary Hawk Riders in. I guess the question is, would the Hawk Riders be the superior unit to Sisters of the Thorn? The Sisters of the Thorn have spells, though. They have access to the Curse of Enric here, which is actually quite good. Armor, speed, accuracy, all of this could be quite useful in this army. Maybe they would be better than my Watchers. You know what? You guys let me know what you think. The Shield of Thorns, Missile Resistance, Melee, Damage Reflection, and the Curse of Enric here could both be very, very useful in this particular army. And I'm thinking that maybe it would be worth it to give up 2 Free Company Militia in favor of them. That said, neither of these 2 units will do nearly as much damage as the Way Watchers, who have 86 armor-piercing, poison-damaging weapon strength, and even that is deceptive because they have even more damage coming from their passive abilities, which give them like 40, 50, something, some crazy amount of reload. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong thing. Some crazy amount of reload buffs via Hawkish Finesse and via Hawkish Precision, depending on whether the enemy is or is not in range. And they also have snipes, so aren't visible when they're firing, so we could Vanguard deploy them forward, have them run back towards the rest of the army while invisible. Whereas obviously neither the Sisters nor the Hawk Riders can do that. So I would prefer the Way Watchers is what I'm getting at, but for now we could use one of these two, especially since we have 100 and I don't like that. We could also later on get a Lore of Life army, well, sort of Lore of Life army, with either some Tree Men or some Treekin to round it out a little bit. Keep them nice and healed up. I like that idea as well. But that'll be separate from what we got going in here. Anyway, what did we get in Skavenblight? We got another Foundry, which is, you know what, we can keep that here, that's fine. And the Barracks, I think we don't need. Ooh, hello. An Empire Captain with basic training. An Empire Captain with basic training that buffs Wolfkin. Yes, please. And before I forget, we're definitely going to get you in here because you can buff the Wolfkin of our dear friend. Wait a second. I'm just wondering, would this be better on the Wolfkin? Because these guys do buff infantry, but they wouldn't buff the Teutogan Guard or the Knights of the White Wolf. So there would be a fairly limited number of Wolfkin in the army that they would buff. On the other hand, we could simply put them into this army, the Volkmars, instead of one of these guys, instead of Aldebras Meyer's second guy, Dagobert Zintler. Disciplined is valuable to him, but is it as valuable as melee attack and defense? Honestly, probably doesn't matter all that much over one melee attack and defense. But there's probably places where this unit could go, so we're gonna summon him anyway. It just doesn't necessarily have to be here. So yeah, you're gonna get summoned, my friend, and you just sit there. In fact, while we're at it, I'm gonna double check here. Aggressive and Impure Scale. I'm gonna mill these guys because I'm sick of waiting. You out and get out, and hopefully we'll get another one in that isn't awful. In fact, let's just double check if there's anything really good on the rest of these. Nope. And we would like to get one of these as well, but we'll wait to put it in the Ulrich army. I mean, we'll wait because that one might mill itself as well. We also have that unit of Deathjacks, which we might want to put in an army. They are archers, though. And they do have snipe. Do archers get any benefit from Marcus? Is my question. Not nearly as much. So the double shot only applies to huntsmen. It doesn't apply to archers. He gives missile strength for archers. Woodsman trait, upkeep reduction, but the upkeep reduction doesn't matter because they're so cheap anyway. Yeah, he doesn't really buff archers all that much. He buffs mostly his army, and then the best buffs are on the huntsmen, so it's probably not worth it to put the archers in his army. We'll keep that one for another one. Alright, anyway. That's now complete. What else do we have to do? You know what? Let's do Marcus's battle real quick.
Fell the cretins!
Did you just say fell the cretins? Alright. Let's take the Temple of Kara. Pyrrhic victory. Now we're just gonna manually fight this super quick. Shouldn't underestimate them. They do have Geomantic Guardians as well, but whatever. Fight battle. We do have to take that. I'd like the province complete, and I would also like to start recruiting the extra units as well. The huntsmen, I mean. To replace all these pikes. So if the pikes die here, we don't care. Alright, come on now. Who's gonna be the biggest threat here? Probably a mix of the Chameleon Skinks and the Flyers, which will probably try to hit us with their bombs. Start deployment here. We're gonna Vanguard deploy you and you out here to start firing on some enemies. In fact, out here to fire on the Pterodon Riders. And then you guys are gonna go all the way here. Force the enemy to adjust to our positioning rather than adjusting to theirs, like so. Don't bother skirmishing, like so. They have no casters, so we're not worried about getting hurt in that manner. You, I guess, can go out here as well. You need to be here, and I just remembered that these guys can, we do have a handgunner summoned here, so let's do this so that the handgunners can fire through. And then Wizard and Fighty Man. Wizard, you can be in the middle of this. Fighty Man, you can be helping out here. Alright, that looks good to me. You are gonna go here. Alright, good enough. Start. Attack. And there we go. And you guys are gonna be out front. You guys are gonna be right... Nope, right there. Dwarfo man, go here, please. And all of you turn off skirmish mode. You specifically turn off skirmish mode. Alright, good. You three. Attack that unit of Pterodon Riders. Gonna speed this up. And, hey, get back here. Rude. Alright, and okay, now they're moving then. I was gonna cast some spells. In fact, I want to see Focused Shot. Wait. I want to see this. I want to read this here. Unit is not composed of a single entity. So Focused Shot only applies to units that are composed of a single entity. What? Scaled projectile damage against combatants with missing health, good against the large targets. Unit is not composed of single entity. Okay, this one then. Okay, well, you can just speed it back up. I just wanted to read that real quick. Alright, you want to fire this at the Croxies? I want to see how much damage this does to them. And you, Kalara, back off, please. Are you not able to... Alright, come on, fire it. Now you're just gonna back off? Okay, yeah, you're just gonna run now. Alright, well, you guys can back off a little bit, and there we go, the fire is beginning. We are going to activate ballistics calibration in... now. Alright, and then you two need to move towards the rest of the army, because you buff everybody up with the amount of range that you give them. Alright, now, ooh. You two fire at this, and at this they're gonna probably drop some bombs, but honestly if they drop them on the pikes, I really don't care. Come on, drop them on the pikes. Lose some models, please. Yeah, they're gonna drop them on the pikes. Beautiful. You, take their place. Everybody else is fine. You, turn off skirmish mode. You, turn off skirmish mode as well. And the battle will be mostly ours shortly. Can we cast any spells here? You can cast a Net of Amantog, but it doesn't really matter here. You guys fire on the Croxivores, please. And you guys are firing at what you're supposed to be firing. Have these guys shattered yet? No, but you can switch to the Croxivores anyway. And you can snipe their Lord. You can snipe their Lord. You can also use that focused shot, no, amber bow on the Croxies. Alright, minor amounts of control. And fire. Fire. You're charging up. Attack. There you go. Oh, that looks really cool. Oh, damn. Did he just knock a bunch of Croxies out? I couldn't tell whether that was from the attack or not. Fire on the Skink Chief as well. Focus shot. It's coming in, and it did hit him. I have no idea how much damage it did. Oh, wait. No, there it is. Oh, okay. That did nice damage. Never mind. I should have probably also gave you the Potion of Speed. All right. Speed it back up. I just wanted to see the effect, since we're not doing this as a cinematic battle, because it's a completely inconsequential one. Yeah, I do like the way the amber bow shots look. They're really quite nice. There we go, knocking out that skin. And the extra shot into his corpse, that was just mean. Alrighty, well the battle's pretty much over. It was inconsequential after all, you guys can move. The way it staggered the corpse there, oh, it was funny. Oh, nice shot from the amber bow. Looked like it basically acted like a cannon there. It knocks a bunch of units out. Nice. Which is appropriate. Alrighty, and here come the Geomantic Guardians. Everybody shut up and dance. I mean, focus fire you. And anybody use anything here? You can use accusation on them, I guess. Alright, let's see how quickly these guys go down. Alrighty, I wonder how many of our shots are actually going to be able to hit. Oh, I didn't realize the Amber Wizard was here, or the Light Wizard is here. Pop this. There we go. Nice little effect, and you cause blinded on the enemy as well, right. Very nice. Alrighty, well, these guys will be out of the picture any second now. Probably shouldn't be using the Wizard like this. Wizard, get the heck out of there. He'll heal up. Oh god, if he can actually get out of there. He's probably getting hit by our own shots as well. And there we go, these guys are just about done, I think steady, but not for long. You guys kill that unit of lizardmen. Ooh. Wait, is this huntsman getting hurt? No. I don't care about the archers, but don't let them kill the huntsman. That's a bad thing. We only don't care if they kill the other unit. You fire on this. Alright, kill the last of these Geomantic Guardians, or Temple Guard. The name of the spell is Geomantic Guardians. Last, probably, round of the pikes doing work. As we will be replacing them with huntsmen. Piles upon piles of huntsmen. Alright, come on, Roderick. You can get a few pokes in with that sword. Let's see, you heard me. Slanashi Giggle and Chameleon Skinks are out. Geomantic Guardians are wavering, and I do believe that the battle is over.
The gods have abandoned us!
Ah, there we go. Still some nice shots. And the enemy will run away to return to, presumably, the Temple of Kara in the background, but alas for them, the temple will be taken over. We're going to delete a few of those units of pikes and replace them with huntsmen right now because we have access to them. Oh, maybe we won't even have to delete them if these three are dead. 51 kills on Wolfheart. Looks like he did pretty darn well. Looks like he beat Kalara this time, at least in kills, but oh, and in damage as well. Though, to be fair, I didn't use Arrow of Kurnos this time, and I did in last battle. Oh, wow. That armor, that faceplate this guy's got is fantastic. Damn. Somebody steal his faceplate. I guess it wouldn't work on a human face, but still. Try to mold it to your face somehow. 3 dead, so we'll have to delete at least 1 more, but it's okay. Occupy the place. The temple is ours, and ooh, we got a Tormentor's sword. Well, that's real nice. That's gonna go on you, and you're going to make use of it as soon as you're on your Pegasus, which will be in 2 levels, to slow everybody down. We're keeping the other Tormentor's sword for the exact same purpose. And you, my friend, I'm going to recruit 4 new huntsmen. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. That worked out really well. Then, after another turn, I guess we'll move in and camp stance up here, and then recruit another 4, and then we'll take the floating pyramid right after. Though these guys will have a much stronger, well, actually. Then we'll have a garrison. And they will have walls, which is an possible problem for Wolfheart's army. He's not going to be so good at taking the walls in his current state. And we may have to give him, I don't know, maybe mortar war wagons? Just a couple. A, to tote around ammunition for the rest of his army, but also because, well, we'll somehow need to be able to take out towers. But anyway, that's a consideration for another time, as I am going to call this episode here. And, Helix Hellborg, a rebel, an Imperial Secessionist. Any relation? Possibly. Anyway, as I was saying, calling it here. Next time, we've got more battles to come for Sartosa, for Uskalak, whatever else we get up to back here, and we will probably hunt down and destroy Ikit for good as well. So stay tuned for all that. Let me know your thoughts about Peter's army and the question of Way Watchers versus Sisters of the Thorn versus Hawk Riders. And, well, also stay tuned for the build-up of the new Knights of the White Wolf and Ulrikite army that we're gonna get up to shortly. The Empire endures, more battles to come, yada yada yada, whatever I usually say. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.